Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here, back with the very last day of the DIY Your Scraps Countdown to December Daily series. This is day 6, and today I am using all the scraps to make a bunch of embellishment clusters. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually not a scrap. I have these cute gift cards that were from Starbucks a couple years ago, or I don't know when. Not this year, I do know that. And they're Christmas ornament shaped, and I thought they would be super fun to make into shakers. So I'm going to do this the super easy way, and I backed the back of this gift card with a piece of paper just so that it wasn't so ugly on the back, and then I glued it down with some tape runner to the plastic so that it wouldn't move so much. Now, FYI, this did not go well the first time around. I think my heating tool was too hot, and I kept getting it snagged around the edges. So I did end up going back and redoing this one when I turned off the camera, but just go a little slower than I did and be a little bit more careful, and you should be good to go. So I just took my fuse tool and ran around the outside edges, and I left an opening at the top so that I could add the glitter in. And then I closed it up when I dumped the glitter in. It was super simple. I know it moves fast, but I'm about to do another one in a different style, so you'll get to see it again. That plastic was just a old Project Life sheet that I had cut down to use as a 6x12, so I had some plastic pockets that weren't closed anymore, and so that's what I'm using. And oh my god, I just cut the top off of that snow globe, but don't fret. It's because I didn't want to put the entire snow globe inside the plastic pocket. So I'm doing the exact same thing I did before and just going around the outside edges nice and slowly, hopefully, to seal it up. And then I'm going to dump some snowflake confetti in there. And when I do that, it covers up that word bit on the bottom. And I don't care. I thought maybe I'd care, but I don't care. I am going to just seal this up and then trim the plastic. And then I'm going to just put this right back up over the top of the plastic. Trim it down a little bit more, and I'm going to add a little snowflake on the outside of the plastic. Super easy if you have a fuse tool. It did take a little bit of trial and error, but I got it eventually. So now, like I've been saying throughout this whole series, my whole point with this series is not just to use up, the scraps that I have on the side here, but also to reuse, change up the things that came in the Simple Stories Merry and Bright collection. I have a bunch of stuff, but if I just leave all these die cuts by themselves, I won't be very creative when it comes to putting together my December daily, because it gets tiring after a whole month of it. So I thought if I did a lot of cute clustering in advance, even though I am using things that are just die cuts, then it would be a little bit more, it would give my project life a little bit more oomph. So I cut out this label off of a 4x4 card because I don't use 4x4 cards. So I will use the label. And I just layered some paper and a little sticker, and I'm taking some tulle. I'm cutting it so that it has a little bit of a thinner length. And I just fan folded it right along some adhesive on the back of that card, just like I would crepe paper. And it gave it a cute little skirt, which makes me kind of wish I had like a little ballerina, or we were going to see the Nutcracker, whatever. It's totally cute, and I'm definitely going to repeat that in my album because I absolutely love it. This little tag that came in the die cuts, and I'm adding some felt scallop and that cute little bear with the heart. Just dressing up some of these die cuts a little bit, making them a little bit more fun, a little bit more handmade. Of course, it took me forever to get that situated right. This is a cute frame, and I was initially going to use it as a frame, but I don't really use a lot of frames, and this one is so small I probably wouldn't use it as a frame. So instead of using it as a frame, even though I am attempting at this point to do that, I'm going to end up cutting it up and using the scallop as a paper strip instead. So we are going to attend an ugly sweater function this year. It's actually a bar crawl. So I wanted to have this little ugly sweater embellishment made and ready to go. So I'm just adding some word strips on that tag. And then I had this tag that I had cut out of a 6x8 paper pad that has this little Christmas tree on the side, so really easy peasy. I just want to add in some word strips and just make it a little bit of a fancier tag. I did do a whole video on tags, but I had some little ones floating around still that I thought would be good background for embellishment clusters and not just tags, so that's why I have those out. I'm going to add this ho 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 to this tree, and that's when I cut the frame and use it as a scallop instead. I'm going to trim off this bottom scallop here because it was interfering with the scallop that I actually wanted. Replace one scallop with another. And then I decided it needed a little bit more height on the bottom, so I added that acetate piece and notched it into a banner. Then I have these stars, and look, I finished that star sheet. It's amazing. So I'm going to trim out another one of these 4x4 cards so I just have the banner. Now I was going to use it on this frame, but again, what I'm talking about with the frames here, I don't use them very much. I do end up using that frame, but I might not use it as a frame when I scrapbook with it. I do decorate it though. Just trying to find a little cluster here, and I really wanted to use this cute little Starbucks cup, but I didn't love the way that that heart was interacting with the, like it was all off balance. So I decided to use some of this felt trim to cover up the heart. So I get it situated just perfectly to cover up the top edges of that heart, and then I just snip off the bottom so you can't even tell it was there. And I'm loving the way that this fabric trim is adding just a little bit more texture to these embellishment clusters. I don't love to make my December daily super thick because you know it's really easy to move into 2 albums when you do that, but whatever. That's basically where I'm at right now. Whatever. I already have 2 albums because I got 2 copies of the Very Merry line, or no, Merry and Bright line. So it came with 2 albums. So if I go into 2 albums, I did last year, if I do it this year too, whatevs. That's my thing. But if you are worried about, you know, things being too thick, then definitely avoid those fabric trims and thick wood veneer and all the stuff that I've been using. So again, just cut out this journaling block from a 4x4 card. This one is a bracket shaped journaling block, so I'm just adding some stuff to the bottom. It says, "Hello, Santa. We will go see Santa this year. We always do. Finn is still not too old to believe in Santa, although I'm pretty sure that he's getting there." Although he's very excited for our elf this year, and so we'll see how he feels at the end of this year. See if he's too old still. Gonna cut out this journaling block too. Don't love that holly on the side, so I'm going to cover it up. I add this jingle word, and I'm going to add this wood veneer. This is from Color Cast Designs. I ordered some of her Christmas wood veneer. So this is a little star. I'm just adding it to the edge there. Trying to decide what else I want to add. And of course I'm going to go with a little paper strip. It's always my favorite go-to technique to add a little bit of bulk and a little bit of pattern to something without adding too much, you know, making it crazy. Just creating a bunch of little clusters to make it super easy. Adding in some of this gold confetti, moving super fast because it took me forever, but just putting down glue and putting down confetti. Not something that's super interesting to watch. Putting these star punches to good use that I bought on, well, it might have been Black Friday. I think it was a Black Friday sale. Punching out some stars. I don't actually punch out too many shapes for this video. In fact, those are the only ones I punch out. Trying to keep it simple and easy on myself. After 6 days in a row of doing this. Just trying to use up the scraps and get it done. I have so much to work with now for this December daily. It's crazy. There's no way I'm ever going to use all of this, but that's not the point, right? The point is it's fun to make. Decided to mat this North Pole, or Northern Pines, blah, blah, blah. Northern Pines little sign on some more paper, and I layered those stars in too, just for a different shape. Now I have a star left over. Adding some more confetti here, just using up what's on my desk, basically. I really like those little gold stars. I'm probably going to use them a lot this year. I'm going to do the fan fold trick with this crepe paper instead of the tulle. Now I'm having it hang off the side just to be a little different. I'm going to mat it on a couple more pieces of paper. I'm trying to use up these paper scraps. I've got a lot going on here. And I limited myself to just like the small scraps. I have pieces of cut down 6x8 paper that like you can still use for a photo mat and stuff. So I purposefully limited myself to not using those. But I still have so many paper strips. It's going to be fun trying to incorporate some of this stuff into my regular December daily scrapbooking. Seeing if I can use up more scraps. This is going to be the year of DIY your scraps December daily, I think, because now I have a ton of scraps just waiting to be put to good use. So, you know, if I use half a doily, I have to use the other half too. So I decided to mat this cute little circular wreath on a doily, and then I didn't love the way that it was hanging off the edges. So I'm trying to figure out how to combat that, and I decided not to go with that coffee cup because I had already used a coffee cup. Even though it does say cheers, it would make sense. Thought about using the tulle. Not gonna happen. So instead, I'm gonna go with just some trim along the top edge there, just to give it an extra layer, and it's gonna like hang out the sides a little bit so that it doesn't look so blunt, that division between the doily and the die cut. And I'll of course notch it into a banner because that's what I do. There we go. Gotta figure out something to do with the star, so I'm trying to create a little cluster here. Cute. I like that. That was easy. Maybe add it to a tag just to give it a little weight. I'm gonna put it down at the bottom there. Thought about adding more, but I just added a little flower just to give it a little height on that tag. Trying to use some of this wood veneer. I have so much wood veneer sitting on the side and I keep not using it. I'm gonna layer up this cute hexagon wood veneer with this patterned hexagon wood veneer I have sitting on the side here. Maybe at some point. There we go. I'm gonna glue them together. Trying to find my glue. It fell on the floor. There we go. And I'm trying to figure out something to put that on, but I end up moving in a different direction for a minute and letting it dry. I have this sticker sitting here on the side of my desk that I had pulled off a different cluster that needed to be used. So I am going to do that to make sure it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. It was sticking to my desk, then I noticed it. So I was going to initially do it this way, but then I decided that it would be super cute as like a little banner. So I matted on this gingham paper, and then I cut this little red piece down into two pieces, like two little banner pieces, and I make like a little award style embellishment. I should do more of those. By this point though, I was getting kind of tired. I'd made a lot, so I'm kind of running out of steam, so maybe I'll make some more later. Decided to add that to this frame. and I am getting just about done here. So I hope you enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun for me to think a little bit outside the box and create some pre-done stuff for my December daily in a way that would actually work for me, since I don't do foundation pages. And if you enjoyed the series or this video, can you please give it a thumbs up? I would really appreciate it. It gets more views on my videos, and then I get to make more content for you guys. So I will see you next time, and until then, thanks!